Good afternoon. My name is Len Doucette. I'm a board member representative from Clarendon. Also taught at Mill River Union High School for about 20 years. And we're here to help celebrate Mill River's 50th anniversary, which Mill River started as a high school here in Clarendon in 1975. And just to give some of the background, we have some plaques here to take a look at. This one from 1975, when the building was built. And you can see at that time the superintendent was Henry Burnham. Henry was here from 1975 until 1997. And the principal was Dean Houghton, who was also here from 75 until 1990. The board members, William Parker was the chair, Leland Congdon, Joan Holden, who eventually came to Mill River and worked here, Phil McKean, Catherine Sanderson, and Irving Smith were the board members. And the general contractor, which constructed the original building. In 1981, Mill River received its initial accreditation from the New England Association of Secondary Schools and Colleges. That was in 1981 that was done. Then over here, just a couple of more plaques. This plaque was for Dean, who served from 1975 to 1990 when he retired as principal. And then Henry Burnham, who was superintendent from 1974 until 1997. This bench was dedicated in his name, as well as the plaque there, both in 1997 when Henry retired. In 1996, Mill River grew over the years from 1975, serving the towns of Wallingford, Clarendon, and Shrewsbury. And in the mid-90s, the student population grew tremendously, and it became difficult to house all of the students in the original construction. So in 1996, actually before that, but it was constructed, the addition was constructed in 1996. Again, Henry Burnham, still the superintendent. The principal at that time was Jack Filio, who took over for Dean and was principal here at Mill River for about 10 years. Board members, Tom O'Brien, who is still around, lives just up the road a bit. Grace Corzin from up in Shrewsbury, Art Peterson, Pat Getz, Thomas Gaynor, and Liz Sheeran. Those were all of the board members at the time. The Berry Hill architect, local here, and then Wright Construction was the company that built the addition. It actually was an interesting year because we started school in August and got out in May so that they could complete the construction by the following fall. And so we skipped April vacation. And so that things could get going as soon as possible. And they were working on it even while we were still in school during the year. So that addition was put on, and even then, it was filled up pretty quickly. Moving on, we're now in an area across from the Peter Marsh Theater, and this group of plaques and awards are all for Stage 20 and Stage 40 awards. I'm not going to go into each of them individually, but you can obviously see that Stage 40 and Stage 20 have won a tremendous number of awards throughout the years. And in fact, the arts program has been one of Mill River's strong suits throughout the years and still is to this day. Over here, we have some more plaques. These are mostly for athletic accomplishments. Later on, we'll be going into the Dean Houghton Gym, and we'll look at some of the banners in there to look at the team state championships. These are runner-up championships and championship trophies as well from the Vermont Principals Association. Again, here, this one area are all of the wrestlers who have wrestled here at Mill River and won state championships. Just recently, we had the Don Allen Invitational, and Don was one of the original coach. Charlie Pritchard also coached here, and again, we've had some well-known wrestlers, Kevin Allen and Zach Allen, related to Don Allen. And these are individual state champions in different weight classes. And then moving here, again, more athletic awards, state championships in basketball, both girls and boys. Also, over here, you have the cheer squad, Mill River, and in fact, just won the Division II state championship yesterday or the day before. I think it was Saturday, again. And again, a great history of cheerleading here at Mill River. And I think they had a run, I'm not going to remember the exact number of years, but in the last 6 or 7, they've won the Division II state championships. So incredible, incredible. And then here, mostly baseball and softball, a couple of state championships in softball, as well as baseball, and also in soccer as well. So there have been quite a few state championships for the athletics here at Mill River. Again, a strong tradition. There's also kind of unique. Mill River did not have a football team for many, many years, which was kind of interesting because Dean Houghton was a coach over at Poultney before he came here. But Art Peterson, former board member, was an individual who wanted to get football going here at Mill River. And so to do that, they started out with an 8-man team so that they could participate and build up interest in the game. And in, let me see, 1994, Mill River was the Vermont state champions in 8-man football. And obviously Mill River has a football team now and has since then, and continues to do well.
My name is Wendy Savery, and I am a 1987 alumna of Mill River Union High School. Here we are standing at the entrance to the auditorium known as the Peter C. Marsh Theater. This was a homage to the person who actually was the director of our program when the school opened in 1975, and so the inaugural season for Stage 40, the theater group sort of named after the USD 40 school district, included a show called You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. And since then, there's been a super strong commitment to providing lots of opportunities for educational theater here at the school through both Stage 40 and participation in Stage 20, which is a middle school theater opportunity. And so since that time, there's been a few changes to the auditorium space, and we're just going to take a little wander in there and look at a bit of history and the way things are now. We have seats renovated from the days when we used to have study hall in here with desks, etc., as part of our seating. We have a lighting booth in the back versus the original setup on the floor behind a few flats for the technicians. Much of the auditorium stage space itself hasn't changed, but there are a few additions that I'll show you. So here we are looking at just a smattering of history in photographs and posters and programs from over the years. There's been hundreds of shows that have been produced on this stage by probably thousands of cast members and students. After Peter Marsh, the program was directed by Peter Bruno until very recently, and at his retirement, I became the director, making me the third person to be at the helm of Stage 40 at Mill River. That being said, the adult advisor works very closely with students, and it's a student-led board giving them a taste of what it will be like if they continue to participate in theater beyond their high school years. In addition to new seats and a new booth, when the building was renovated and overhauled, Stage 40 also got a scene shop. And so here we have much more history, and you can see that we are currently working on our production of a one-act play called One Stoplight Town. Getting that real-time, hands-on experience was so valuable for me, and I'm very, very appreciative of the opportunity to share that with the students that we have today.
Okay, we're now in the area of the music suite, which is chorus and band. We'll be going into the band room shortly. One of the activities that they have done on a regular basis in chorus is bistro, and band has been included in that as well. And these are some of the signages from various bistros that have been done in the past. Again, Mill River's history in terms of chorus and band is well known, and in fact Mill River has had a lot of students participate in as individuals in terms of chorus and in terms of band as well. I think right now our chorus and band are two of the largest groups that we have working. We've moved into the band room from the chorus area. And I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned the folks that are so dedicated to our kids, both in band and chorus. Peter Roach, former student here at Mill River, now band director. And I'm sure you've seen him marching with the band in the parades, leading the band. Kristen Simonetti is choral as well as principal up in Shrewsbury. And then Andrew Luce also is involved with choral music. So again, as I said, Mill River has a very strong music and chorus department, and the folks that are involved, the teachers, have done a great job of making sure and providing everything that the kids need in order to be successful. Really amazing programs for sure. I just wanted to stop. This is an area that was dedicated to a former English teacher here at Mill River, Cheryl Gallus, who passed away quite some time ago. And it was rather interesting. We've had several folks from back in the early days at Mill River who had health issues and passed away relatively young. And Cheryl was a tremendous asset to Mill River, was great with kids, and she was missed. Right now we're in the wrestling room that's been here at Mill River since it started. And as I mentioned previously, wrestling has a long history here at Mill River. And as you can see on the banners, all of those banners are individual state champions. And then the larger banner over on the right are all wrestlers who won over 100 matches during their careers. And this has been redone and really looks tremendous. And there's been a lot of work that was put into it in terms of fundraising and other things as well. So you can see it's a great looking facility at this point. And again, to show the history of wrestling here at Mill River. And we are now in the Dean Houghton Memorial Gym. As stated before, Dean was a longtime principal here at Mill River, started with Mill River, and was here for many years. And what you have here are some of all of these banners represent, in some cases, individual achievements. For example, there's 1,000 yards in football, in both running and passing. Excuse me. You have 50 goals scored. Again, both boys and girls there. And then 1,000 points. Again, both men and women in basketball. And then, again, wrestling championships, some softball no-hitters and baseball no-hitters that are up there, and track and field achievements as well. And then the state champions and MVL championships in soccer, cross country, golf. Mentioned the 1994 state champions in football. You can see the huge list of state championships and other championships for cheerleading. And more recently, a state championship in snowboarding. And then also, there's cross country and golf state champions. And then there's one banner, I'm not sure that you can see it, but the Vermont Principals Association have inducted several former Mill River folks into the Vermont Principals Association Hall of Fame. They include Dean Houghton, Shirley Brousseau, longtime basketball, softball coach. Actually, we won't get to it today, but there's a bench out up by the softball field that's dedicated to Shirley. Christina Raish, basketball player, softball player. Norm Stevens, who was housemaster here for many years. Bear Irwin. Bear ran the music program for a while. George Peterson, football athlete. Kyle Fredette, wrestling. Gary Mac McDonald, who taught here as an industrial arts teacher, spent many years over in Proctor, and then came here as a coach as well. And then the last name up there, Jay Wilson, who coached the state championship here, has also been an assistant coach to his son over at Fairhaven, his son Kyle, and Kyle has won several state champions over there. And his other son Chad also won a state championship for Proctor in soccer. So there's some wheels there in the Wilson family. And that's the dedication to Dean Houghton, the Memorial Coliseum. Gymnasium, I guess it's not a coliseum. We're now in another area of the building. This was part of the addition that was put on with the expansion of Mill River. And Joan Holden, as you can see, this area was dedicated to her. She was a longtime middle school principal here at Mill River, was a member of the original board when Mill River was founded. And Joan was a tremendous asset to the middle school grades, 7 and 8, that have been here. This is the area that is used mostly for their sports activities, and it also freed up some gym room, because in the winter, an empty gym is kind of hard to come by. And the Mill River, the district, has increased its emphasis on not just middle school, but also elementary school participation as well. And so that's growing also.